breaking news to tell you about, and it's coming from the Milwaukee County Courthouse, where the jury has reached a decision in the Badger gun case.
Yeah, police officer Brian Norberg and former officer Graham Kunich are suing the owners of Badger guns.
Now, they claim negligence allowed the shooter to end up with a firearm he was not legally allowed to buy. You're looking at a live picture right now. We're not live yet. Okay, this is file video. There's the officers that were shot by this gun. This took place, they were shot in 2009. Surveillance video from inside the gun shop shows Jacob Collins purchasing a gun for the shooter, 18-year-old Julius Burton, who was too young to buy a gun. It's called a straw purchase.
And now we're going to head into the courtroom. This is a live look inside where the jury had to decide on 23 specific questions.
So this is going to take a while because they have to answer all 23 questions. And so what we're going to go through here is a series of the questions, and the jury's going to read the answer to each of those questions.
Yeah, and they had to all agree on the answer.
At least some were saying that all had agreed, or 10 out of 12 had to agree. We know that there are 8 women, 4 men on the jury here right now. And so I don't know if we're going to try to listen in here. Is that the plan? All right, let's listen in.
Has the jury reached a verdict in this case?
Yes.
Would you please give the entire binder, including the special verdict form, to Mr. Holbrook?
The judge right now flipping through 23 pages to find out what the jury did decide on before he announces that to everyone in the courtroom.
And now we're watching this closely, but so are people across the country, because this is an unusual trial. It doesn't happen that often where you see someone suing a gun company for selling a gun that ended up being used in a shooting. Here is the judge now. Let's hear what he has to say.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am now going to read this entire verdict form. I'm going to ask that you pay very close attention to the way I read it. After I have read it, I am going to ask you as a body whether this was and is your verdict as I read it. In other words, did I read it accurately? I'm going to ask you to raise your hand if I have read the entire verdict accurately. After I have done that, it is my practice in every case to individually poll the jurors as to whether this was and is their verdict and the verdict of the jury as read by the court. So please pay close attention. This is special verdict in case 10 CV 020655. Brian Norberg, Graham Kunich, plaintiffs versus Badger Guns Inc., Badger Outdoors Inc., Walter Allen, Adam Allen, Milton Bitovic, West Bend Mutual Insurance Company, Julius Burton, and Metropolitan Property and Casualty Insurance Company. With respect to the first statutory violation negligence claim against Badger Guns, question number 1. In May 2009, did Badger Guns sell to Jacob Collins the firearm that was used in the June 9, 2009 shooting of Brian Norberg and Graham Kunich, knowing that Jacob Collins made a false entry in a record required to be prepared with respect to the sale of the firearm? The jury answered this question, yes. Question number 2. If you have answered question number 1, yes, then answer this question. Was such sale by Badger Guns to Jacob Collins negligence? The jury answered this question, yes. Question number 3. If you have answered question number 2, yes, then answer this question. Was such negligence of Badger Guns a cause of the injuries sustained by Brian Norberg and Graham Kunich in the June 9, 2009 shooting? The jury answered this question, yes. With respect to the second statutory violation negligence claim as to Badger Guns, Question number 4. In May 2009, did Badger Guns knowingly make a false entry in a record required to be prepared with respect to the sale of the firearm in a sale to Jacob Collins of the firearm that was used in the June 9, 2009 shooting of Brian Norberg and Graham Kunish? The jury answered this question, yes. Question number 5. If you have answered question number 4, yes, then answer this question. Was such sale by Badger Guns to Jacob Collins negligence? The jury answered this question, yes. Question number 6. If you have answered question number 5, yes, then answer this question. Was such negligence of Badger Guns a cause of the injuries sustained by Brian Norberg and Graham Kunish in the June 9, 2009 shooting? The jury answered this question, yes. Question number 7 with respect to the third statutory violation negligence claim as to Badger Guns. Question number 7. In May 2009, did Badger Guns sell to Jacob Collins the firearm used in the June 9, 2009 shooting of Brian Norberg and Graham Kunish, knowing or having reasonable cause to believe that Jacob Collins was disqualified by law from receiving the firearm? The jury answered this question, yes. Question number 8. If you have answered question number 7, yes, then answer this question. Was such sale by Badger Guns to Jacob Collins negligence? The jury answered this question, yes. Question number 9. If you have answered question number 8, yes, then answer this question. Was such negligence of Badger Guns a cause of the injury sustained by Brian Norberg and Graham Kunish in the June 9, 2009 shooting? The jury answered this question, yes. With respect to the fourth statutory violation negligence claim as to Badger Guns, question number 10. In May 2009, did Badger Guns sell to Jacob Collins the firearm used in the June 9, 2009 shooting of Brian Norberg and Graham Kunish, knowing or having reasonable cause to believe that Julius Burton was the actual purchaser of the gun? The jury answered this question, no. They therefore did not answer questions 11 and 12. With respect to the fifth statutory violation negligence claim as to Badger Guns, question number 13. On May 4th, 2009, did Badger Guns knowingly transfer the firearm used in the June 9, 2009 shooting of Brian Norberg and Graham Kunish to Jacob Collins without re-verifying Jacob Collins' identification? The jury answered this question, yes. Question number 14. If you have answered question number 13, yes, then answer this question. Was such transfer by Badger Guns to Jacob Collins negligence? The jury answered this question, yes. Question number 15. If you have answered question number 14, yes, then answer this question. Was such negligence of Badger Guns a cause of the injuries sustained by Brian Norberg and Graham Kunish in the June 9, 2009 shooting? The jury answered this question, no. Now, with respect to the negligent entrustment claim as to Badger Guns, question number 16. In May 2009, did Badger Guns negligently entrust to Jacob Collins the firearm used in the June 9, 2009 shooting of Brian Norberg and Graham Kunish? The jury answered this question, yes. Question number 17. If you have answered question number 16, yes, then answer this question. Was such negligent entrustment by Badger Guns a cause of the injuries sustained by Brian Norberg and Graham Kunish in the June 9, 2009 shooting? The jury answered this question, yes. With respect to the conspiracy claim as to Badger Guns, Adam Allen, Badger Outdoors, Walter Allen, Milton Bitovic, if you have answered question number 3 or 6 or 9 or 12 or 15 or 17, yes, then answer this question. Did any of the defendants conspire with one or more defendants to sell firearms unlawfully? As to Badger Guns, the jury answered the question, no. As to Adam Allen, the jury answered the question, no. As to Badger Outdoors, the jury answered the question, no. As to Walter Allen, the jury answered the question, no. As to Milton Bitovic, the jury answered the question, no. Therefore, the jury did not answer question number 19. With respect to the compensatory damage questions, question number 20, you must answer this question regardless of how you have answered the previous questions. As a result of the injuries sustained by Brian Norberg in the June 2009 shooting, what sum of money will fairly and reasonably compensate him with respect to sub A, past health care expenses, and by stipulation the court previously wrote in the answer $105,764.72. Sub B, future health care expenses, the jury has written $415,000. Question C, past wage loss / earning capacity. By stipulation, the court wrote in the answer $48,920.87. Sub D, past pain, suffering, and disability. The jury wrote in $490,000. As to sub E, future pain, suffering, and disability, the jury wrote in $400,000. Question number 21. You must answer this question regardless of how you have answered the previous questions. As a result of the injuries sustained by Graham Kunish in the June 9, 2009 shooting, what sum of money will fairly and reasonably compensate him with respect to sub A, past health care expenses? By stipulation, the court previously wrote in the answer $348,347.14. Sub B, future health care expenses. The jury wrote in $550,000. Sub C, past wage loss earning capacity. By stipulation, the court previously wrote in $49,676.96. Sub D, future loss of earning capacity. The jury wrote in $930,000. As to sub E, past pain, suffering, and disability, the jury wrote in $725,000. As to sub F, future pain, suffering, and disability, the jury wrote in $975,000. Punitive damage question number 22. Did Badger Guns intentionally disregard the rights of Brian Norberg and Graham Kunish as members of the public to the right to safety? The jury answered this question, yes. Question number 23. If you have answered yes to question number 22, then answer this question. What sum of money do you allow against Badger Guns for punitive damages? The jury answered this question, $730,000. It's dated at Milwaukee, this 13th day of October 2015. It bears the signature of the foreperson who is juror number 41.
Judge D'Amato reading the verdict there, all 23 questions, and it looks like a victory for officers Norberg and Kunish.
And we're going to toss it over to Carol and Steve now, who have more news right now on Live at 5.
And thank you very much. We are following two breaking news stories. One, this verdict that has just been reached, a big blow for Badger Guns. Basically, the company has been found negligent in the shooting of our two officers.
And when you add the compensatory damages with the negligence claims, it's north of about $5 million. We're talking about this is a landmark case, will likely be appealed, could be appealed all the way to the Supreme Court, as it's going to have big ramifications for the sale of firearms in this country if this verdict gets to stand.
Yeah, this is a precedent-setting case, and the fact that the Badger Guns is not faring well right now means this will send really shockwaves throughout the country, and we'll continue to bring more. Right now, the judge is basically polling the jury, but we will have a full explanation in just a minute. But we